DeWalt yellow, John Deere green, Whirlpool, Moen. You see a trusted logo on a big box shelf and your brain does something dangerous. It stops asking questions. Home Depot moved $164 billion last year. Lowe's moved $86 billion. That is a $250 billion retail system built on one misunderstanding: that the badge on the box means you're buying what the professionals buy. You're not. The logo is not the product, the model number is. And the gap between those two things is where the big box scam actually lives. Walk into any warehouse aisle and the colors do the selling for you. That signature DeWalt yellow, the unmistakable John Deere green, or the familiar badges of Whirlpool and Moen are designed to short-circuit your critical thinking. They trigger instant trust. You assume that a major brand would never compromise its reputation on a retail shelf. But in a mass ecosystem where Home Depot commands $164.7 billion in fiscal 2025 sales and Lowe's clears over $86 billion, corporate survival dictates a new strategy. These giants do not rely on you making side-by-side technical comparisons. They rely on quick, emotion-driven trust to clear their palates. The brand logo on the box is the bait, but the obscure model number stamped on the packaging is the real identity of the machine. When you grab that box based on the logo alone, your wallet is the thing taking the entire risk. Local hardware stores once sold parts, rebuild knowledge, and long-term trust. But the warehouse model swept that relationship aside. Lowe's, which started in 1921 as a single North Wilkesboro hardware shop, pivoted after World War II toward a high-volume, self-service format. Then came Home Depot, incorporated in 1978, opening its first two Atlanta warehouses in 1979 on Memorial Drive and Buford Highway. This new retail model swapped out repair advice and spare parts for pure scale, standardization, and massive volume. As these national giants swallowed the market, tool manufacturers faced a hard reality. They had to adapt their assembly lines to satisfy the strict price targets of these massive distribution channels, or lose access to the American consumer entirely. When a manufacturer designs a tool for a big box store, the process is inverted. The engineering brief does not begin with durability, it begins with a shelf price. Retailers dictate strict cost ceilings to hit price buckets like $199, $399, $599, and $999. To preserve corporate margins, engineers must strip cost out of the machine. Thinner sheet metal replaces structural steel, molded plastic replaces brass. Smaller motors, weaker transmissions, cheaper control boards, and lighter fasteners are substituted behind a premium logo. These variations carry exclusive, confusing model numbers designed to resemble contractor-grade machines while hiding a completely different internal build brief. This is the core of the compromise. The discount was not taken off the product. The product was built around the discount. You are not walking away with a deal. You are leaving the store with a downgraded variant engineered to look professional on display, but destined to fail the moment it faces real-world work. Walk onto the sales floor during Memorial Day, Labor Day, Black Friday, or the spring lawn push, and you are bombarded with yellow and orange special buy banners. These high-energy sales cycles are built to create a false sense of urgency. The marketing makes you feel like you are winning, but the product on the pallet is often a stripped-down ghost of the standard model. It looks identical to the tool professionals use, but a retailer-specific SKU hides the truth. Behind that familiar name badge lies a shortened warranty, fewer included accessories, and zero post-purchase parts availability. The corporate plan relies on you buying the logo, not the machine. To protect your wallet, you must ignore the brand name on the box and cross-reference the exact character-for-character model number. This design compromise hits hardest in the major appliance aisle, where buyers make their largest household investments. When you purchase a new refrigerator, washer, dryer, or dishwasher, you naturally expect a machine that will anchor your home for a decade or more. Industry data still sets baseline lifespans at 13 years for refrigerators, 10 years for washers, 13 years for dryers, and 9 years for dishwashers. But these long-term expectations frequently end in early frustration. Today's big box appliances look like professional-grade equipment on the outside, wrapped in sleek stainless steel and fitted with digital displays. Underneath that premium skin, however, lies a fragile engineering reality. Where older appliances relied on heavy mechanical gears, robust copper wiring, and accessible fasteners, modern warehouse units are packed with cheap sensors, thin plastic components, and sealed assemblies. The old machines were simple, mechanical, and built to be serviced by anyone with a wrench. The new ones are essentially computers wrapped in thin sheet metal. When a critical component fails in year 3 or 4, it feels like a financial betrayal. You thought you were buying a long-term utility, but you actually wheeled home a short-term rental engineered to look premium under warehouse lighting. When that year 3 breakdown inevitably happens, you hit the repair cliff. This is where the engineering decisions inside the machine translate directly into financial ruin. In a repairable world, a failed drum bearing or a worn-out seal is a $30 to $80 part. But in a big box machine, engineers have potted control boards in heavy epoxy, glued assemblies together, and encased steel bearings inside sealed plastic outer tubs. Because you cannot swap the individual component, a simple bearing failure forces a complete drum replacement. A small leak forces a full assembly swap. A control board failure costs half the price of a new machine. By the time you add an $85 diagnostic fee, shipping, and 2 hours of professional labor, a cheap fix balloons into a $500 to $900 invoice. This is not a failure of the repair industry. It is a highly calculated design strategy. When fixing a machine costs 70% of its replacement value, the math forces your hand. Over 58% of homeowners choose replacement over repair for this exact reason. You do not discard the machine because you want to, you do it because repair has been engineered to be economically irrational. In the plumbing aisle, the illusion of quality is plated in polished chrome. For $59 or $99, you can buy a familiar brand faucet from Moen, Delta, or Kohler that looks identical to the $300 trade-grade fixture. But that heavy metal handle is just a zinc shell covering a cheap interior. Inside the box, solid brass is replaced with plastic cartridges, thin supply lines, and brittle polymer fittings. These hidden components dictate the true lifespan of the fixture. While the polished exterior looks pristine on display, the internal mechanics must survive constant water pressure, rapid heat cycles, and mineral deposits. The danger isn't a cosmetic scratch, it is a cheap plastic fitting cracking inside your vanity, turning a double-digit bargain into a catastrophic water damage claim. When that plastic interior cracks, the homeowner blames the installer. This immediate liability is why licensed plumbers refuse to install customer-supplied big box fixtures. A single callback drains their time, profit, and reputation. When a professional insists on sourcing from a dedicated supply house, they are buying risk control. Supply house fixtures rely on standardized cartridges and reliable rebuild kits with known service paths. Sourcing from these trade channels ensures the installation can actually be serviced years down the line. It is a calculated business decision to prevent catastrophic leaks and protect their livelihood. The sea of signature power tool colors, Milwaukee Red, DeWalt Yellow, and Makita Teal, triggers an instant association with heavy-duty construction. But a brand's logo and color scheme do not guarantee job site durability. Many of the massive high-volume combo kits stacked on big box pallets are engineered strictly for light residential use. To hit those attractive price tiers, manufacturers pack these boxes with tools that look professional but are fundamentally downgraded. Underneath that familiar colored plastic shell, they swap out hardened steel for plastic chucks, replace high-efficiency, brushless motors with shorter-lived brushed alternatives, and install low-cost snap-on switches alongside lighter gearboxes and weaker, low-capacity batteries. Even the bundled accessories are designed simply to pad the package and create a false sense of value. Real contractors and mechanics ignore the box filler. They judge a tool strictly by its continuous duty cycle under real punishing day-in, day-out abuse. Cordless convenience hides a long-tail spending trap. While a tool's motor might survive years of light use, lithium-ion cells degrade after 300 to 500 charge cycles. To hit those irresistible combo kit price points, manufacturers pack the box with low-capacity starter batteries. When those thin cells inevitably lose their charge, you face the brutal reality of replacement economics. A single 5 amp-hour replacement battery can cost up to 80% of what you originally paid for the entire toolkit. This is disposability disguised as convenience. The manufacturer hooks you with a cheap entry price, only to lock you into their battery platform. The real question isn't how the tool performs today, but whether you can actually source batteries, switches, brushes, and service parts 5 years down the road. Walk into the outdoor power aisle, and no brand commands more instant trust than the iconic forest green and bright yellow of John Deere. Homeowners see that logo and assume they are buying the same legendary, multi-generational tractor that working farmers rely on. But at a big box store, that green paint is wrapping a fundamentally different machine. Big box retailers sell entry-level riding mowers like the S100 series, priced between $1,800 and $2,200. On the warehouse floor, an S100 looks like a rugged agricultural platform. In reality, it is engineered strictly for light-duty residential lawns and short run times of under 3 hours a day. Compare that to a dealer-grade X300 or X500 series platform, which starts at over $4,000. The difference is not cosmetic, it is structural. Dealer-grade machines are built with thicker frame steel, easy service access, and the durability to handle steep slopes and heavy towing. The big box variant is value engineered to hit a low shelf price, leaving the buyer to confuse brand prestige with mechanical capability. Underneath that glossy green hood, the ultimate point of failure is the hydrostatic transaxle. Homeowners buy these entry-level mowers expecting a tractor capable of towing heavy utility carts, climbing steep backyard hills, hauling mulch, and dragging lawn rollers. But the drivetrain is not built for tractor work. Most big box riding mowers, including the S100 series, rely on the tough torque K46, a light-duty, sealed transmission designed with no drain plug. This makes routine maintenance intentionally difficult. Changing the oil requires completely removing the rear end of the mower, flipping it upside down, and draining it through the fill cap. Because normal service is made impractical, heat degrades the fluid and leads to premature wear. When a simple $45 internal bearing fails, there is no easy fix. A local repair shop cannot swap the single part. The sealed design forces a full transaxle replacement. A simple service job balloons into a $400 rebuild or a $1,500 replacement bill. The machine looks rugged on display, yet the hidden drivetrain is engineered strictly for light-duty mowing. Home Depot knows exactly how real supply chains and professional distribution work. They proved this in June 2024 when they completed the acquisition of SRS Distribution for approximately $18.25 billion. SRS is a specialty distributor built entirely around supply reliability, service parts, and heavy-duty materials for professional contractors. These trade buyers do not shop by discount stickers or brand colors. They make decisions based on duty cycles, tool lifespans, and liability risks. Home Depot spent billions because they understand that world perfectly. Yet, on their retail sales floor, they run a completely different playbook. The consumer aisle is designed to train homeowners to shop based on bright brand packages and low sticker prices. This corporate contradiction isn't a mistake or ignorance. It is a calculated segmentation. Home Depot secures real deal professional distribution networks for trade buyers while keeping the retail floor engineered for a high-volume, disposable life cycle. Never buy a machine where you buy your paper towels unless you already know the exact model number and its internal specs. Breaking this cycle of built-in failure means changing where and how you shop. When parts and long-term service matter, buy appliances from proper appliance dealers who employ their own repair technicians. Buy your plumbing fixtures from dedicated trade supply houses where valves are brass and standardized rebuild kits actually exist. If you need a mower, source it from an authorized dealer whose staff will actually ask about your acreage, your lawn slopes, your towing needs, and future service requirements rather than an associate rushing to clear a seasonal display pallet. When selecting power tools, ignore the flashy, low-price combo kits and judge the tool by its continuous duty cycle, battery cell quality, and individual component parts availability. Before making any major purchase, run through a strict checklist. Check the exact character-for-character model number online, verify the availability of replacement parts, check the true warranty length, locate the authorized service network, and ask whether a licensed professional would actually install or repair it. This basic decision framework is how you protect your wallet. A cheap tool is a rental with an unpredictable return date. Until we stop buying by the logo and start demanding repairability, warehouse shelves will keep filling with single-use machines. True value is not found under warehouse lighting. It is proven in the workshop. Your next purchase is your vote. Tell us your most reliable, repairable tool brands in the comments.